This is why men are over partying. As a man gets older, the less tolerance he has for going out, getting blind drunk, and dancing in a sweaty room with complete strangers. It was social convention for me when I turned 16 and 17 to go out clubbing. I thought that was the best place to go. That's where all the cool people were. Then I spent over 12 years, spent a fortune as well, constantly going out to all these parties and clubs, making friends and networking with club promoters, assuming that is the best way to spend my free time. But it was a waste of money and a waste of time completely, especially from a male perspective. It's different for women. Women go out in their groups and they dance with their groups. They actually have a laugh and good fun amongst themselves. With men, it's awkward and it's different. And I went out constantly, and I can safely say I cannot recall one evening in the many that I went out in all those years that was worth it. Clubbing and partying, etc., is just too expensive. So you are working like a dog through the week, and then you've got to rack together almost as close to a paycheck to go out and do what exactly? Pay a fortune on drinks, pay for entry, stupidly buy women drinks who will never even give you the time of day. And what's it worth? I've not even taken into account the travel as well. But it's so much money. Back in the day, it used to be £500 for a table. God knows what it is now. And you look like a pretentious douchebag when you have a table as well, because you think that's what's going to make you look cool, that's what's going to get you all the girls. But in the corner, you're there, drinking that drink, looking completely desperate and alone. Let's talk about the crowds. If you're a man of any stature and any standard, etc., and are slightly intelligent, you'll recognize and realize the crowds in nightclubs, and especially these party places like that, are just awful. They are like the worst members of society. Sure, people might look aesthetically good, but once they open their mouth in the smoking area, once they open their mouth when you speak to them outdoors, etc., you wish they kept them shut. The crowds are so narcissistic, so selfish and entitled and rude. Fights might break out, people spike drinks, people are just ignorant and rude, and they're so vain and insecure that if they are seen spoken to you, they'll feel uncomfortable and make you feel uncomfortable as well. As I already touched on, the travelling is a nightmare. Most of these nightclubs and most of these venues are probably not anywhere near where you live, which means you're going to have to get into taxis, get on trains and buses, maybe even walk a considerable amount of time in your nice pair of shoes, etc., just to get there. I remember a few years back, I went out stupidly to a bar and a club, and I couldn't get home. I couldn't get a taxi, couldn't get a train, nothing. It took me 4 hours from 2 to 6 in the freezing cold to get home. And this was in my 30s. And I promised myself there and then that I would never, ever, ever get myself in that predicament anymore. Maturity plays a big part in that, and I'll touch on that a bit later. But let's talk on the ROI, the return on investment for clubbing. So here's what men do. They invest their free time, they invest their money, their energy, they psych themselves up to go out so they can fit in with the crowd and not be awkward. They think this is the night they're going to meet the love of their lives, or maybe they're going to have a one night stand, or maybe they're going to have fun and so on and dance the night away. And what is that return on investment? Well, 9 times out of 10, you pay more than you thought you did, even if you try to budget. The travelling is more unpredictable because trains go down, buses, there's traffic, there's weather conditions, etc. You might go to this club, psych yourself up, and there are no women there, or there's 1 or 2 women and they are not your type, you're not attracted to them. It could be a dud night. It's just not worth it. So you're putting all this time and energy and effort and money into this situation, and it turns out to be a boring waste of time, and you swear to yourself as you eat a McDonald's or a KFC on your drunken slop home, saying to yourself, I'm never going to do this again. And then by the next week, you're ready to do it once more. Before we continue, let me tell you about some guides I've created that will totally change your life. Unlock your full potential with these life-changing guides from me, SCG, packed with insights, strategies, and practical advice to help you thrive in every area of your life. Explore them now and get 50% off in the description and pinned comment below. Now, the nightlife in these clubs, in these venues and so on, are just so full of superficiality. And if that's your bag, if that's your vibe, you're most likely not watching this video. But for the deep man, the self-aware man, the man that wants more out of his life, the man that gives more of his life as well, he recognizes and realizes that he's done being superficial. And it doesn't matter what age he is. He could be 21. Nightlife and nightclubs are full of image. Of course, people doll themselves up. People wear what looks like expensive clothing. People are trying to put their best self forward to impress the opposite sex. Not everyone pulls in clubs. Even beautiful women go to clubs and they don't talk to men because it's all an act. It's all a show. And with blaring music, very dim lights, strobe lights, etc., it's hard to really actually pay attention to what's going on, especially if you're getting drunk. But what's the purpose of it? It's just a room and a venue for you to kind of move your body, perv on women, and hope for the best. And women just want to dance and be with their friends and not be bothered by men. Nightclubs and partying, over partying especially, attracts drama and it attracts trouble. It attracts drama because you could be out with a friend, and if your friend goes off with a woman, where does that leave you? What are you going to do? Are you going to chat up a random woman? Most likely you can't talk in a nightclub, which is a complaint all on its own. So then you're going to feel uncomfortable, insecure, and you're going to be jealous of that friend. Or you might hook up with a girl, and your friend who's getting nothing is going to be jealous of you. Then there's random idiots, coked up, drunk, disorderly, looking for fights for no apparent reason, and they've decided to pick on you. Women will actually pretend that they like you, get a drink from you, and then when you pursue them, their boyfriend appears out of nowhere, and then fights break out. Is it worth it? And you're dealing with the degenerates of society in these places. Trust me, just when you thought these people couldn't be any more stupid, they really could. Just go find them in a nightclub. Men of stature, intelligence, personal development, etc., they prefer conversations. Some men are thick as planks. Some men are naturally good looking and tall. They can't conversate. So women even approach them, or they approach women, and they hook up. Whereas men who like to conversate and display their value, display their attraction through conversation, cannot do that in a nightclub. You are shouting in the ear of a woman who barely can hear you. You can barely hear her, and she's constantly being pulled away by her friends. And then even if you go out with your friends, also, why would you go out with your mates to a nightclub just to be with your mates? You can't conversate. You can't talk. You literally lose your voice, and then you're going home, you think to yourself, what a waste of time and money that was. Men of stature, importance, and elegance, class, and who are self-aware, prefer doing this over partying. They prefer having dinners. They prefer hosting dinners. They prefer going out for a meal. They prefer maybe going to a wine bar or a bar in general where they can actually hold a conversation. The partying days and the over-partying days is a young man's game. But even the young men are clocking on to this con. It's why nightclubs, and especially most of the nightclubs I used to go to, have either closed down or gone into administration because people are over it now. And at the end of the day, you cannot beat a good conversation and a nice glass of wine, or even just a glass of tap water and great conversation. You're more likely to have a more fulfilling, memorable, good night catching up with a friend, and maybe, if you're lucky, you see a woman that catches your eye and you can actually go over to her and have a conversation She can hear you, you can hear her, and then that will have a much better return on investment than partying till 6 in the morning. And also, the most important reason of all of why men are over partying is the hangover. The older you get, the worse that hangover really does get. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. If you'd like to connect with me, I offer one-on-one personalized coaching consultation calls. Check out the link in the description below and book your time and day that you'd like to talk. Please also do me a favor and share this video with someone who you think would really gain value from the message that's in it. Are you a man that is over partying? If so, share your thoughts and experiences, please, in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.